with the dollar. The dollar is a way to control everything that we produce. Because when they print money, and you know what it happens here in Nigeria with the Naira, the more you print, the more you have to work to obtain the same good. And it's endless because there is no limit to the supply. So they basically have a button, and the developers can tell you about it. You basically have a button when you can push the bills and the money into the population. And when there is too much supply, obviously, that devaluates the value of your work, the work that you will do, the work that the farmers do. So every time they print more and more money, that hurts all the families, because everybody, even if you save the money, it's still in the bank, it's still there, but the value dropped. So the big thing about crypto in general and blockchain, like the idea behind Bitcoin when they started, Satoshi Nakamoto just said, okay, and he was fed up with that because the German government again printed a lot of money. And he said, why don't we have a money that has a limited supply? So the government cannot play with it, cannot destroy the livelihood of the people by printing. That's why he created only 21 million Bitcoin. He created 1 million for himself and 20 million for the world. So I don't know if he really was a good person, but anyways, he took a percentage. He's still locked. It's still locked today. We don't know who has the money. We are not sure. We have some supposition, but we don't know. But the 20 million left, why the price went from a few cents to $60,000, it's because it's limited supply. And that's very important to understand economically. Second reason is, what do we do with Bitcoin? What do we do with crypto in general? You know, today I needed some cash to pay for the taxi. I went to the ATM and the limit was 10,000 Naira. Why? Like, what's the problem? It's my money. Why someone takes my money and then allows me to take only a very small percentage of my money? You know, that's also a way to control the people. So blockchain, since Bitcoin, and especially today with all the projects that we have, especially Algorand, I decided one day, let's do a money. Let's create our own currency. That will be better than just money because it's very short, very limited in supply. So I decided to create this token called Fame. It was, at the beginning, it was just about family. And then we wanted to make it more fun. So we added the E to make it like more funny. But it's the Algo Fame token. You can find it on Algorand. And the purpose was, can we have a token that is not for control, that is for charity and art? Can we create a currency that is dedicated for charity and art? That's the goal. And when I released it, I immediately gave 10 to 700 people. So 7,000 was distributed in like 4 days. And then 3,000 left. With those 3,000, I said, because it's a fair distribution, everybody has only 10. I said, what do we do with the 3,000? And I think the value of money, like what is money really, is what would you do for this money? So I wanted the token to be earned and not bought. You cannot just buy it. So I didn't put it in any exchange. I had the 3,000 and we ran challenges, art and charity challenges. If you win the challenge, if you create the best piece of art every month, you earn something. If you help others, you earn something. And anyone can help. For instance, there was a case of a guy, he decided with his family to take a bag, a trash bag, the bin in the street, and to clean the street, to take the plastic bags from the ground. So when he cleaned he showed the pictures, he showed us what he was doing, and he earned something. And we tried to do 12 charity challenges. in each one per month, and 12 art challenges. And why I came to Nigeria, because maybe that's a question, it's because the first charity challenges were about hunger, food hunger. And one of the guy that received 10 fame randomly, because anyone could ask on Twitter, his name is Kingsley, like this developer here. And we were just chatting, etc. He told me, yeah, here in Nigeria it's difficult. And I didn't know much about Nigeria. And we started talking, trying to find a solution. And he lost his shop, he was despaired, he was very depressed. And I said, yeah, let's try to run a project together. And we come up with this idea, why not create a small farm? At least we will have some food. So we send him like a few algos. Algo is the crypto from Algorand. 4 seconds to send. You send in 4 seconds and you can send any amount. If you have $1 billion, is the same. You don't need to use banks. If I want now to receive $20,000 from a friend in Paris, it's like an SMS, like a text message, and I receive 20,000 using the blockchain. It's revolutionary. Because if I need money and I need to ask the banks, I will need 2 weeks to get 20,000. In crypto, it's exactly like the text message, it's just a code. So it changes everything. It means also for donations, we don't need intermediaries to donate. That's why I created Fame. So people could donate to the most disenfranchised people in the world in 4 seconds with no intermediaries, no charity organization. You just need one wallet. You show me your wallet. You show me what's your problem. If I want to help you, done. And that's what we have been doing with Kingsley. So we send him the money for the land, to buy the seeds, to pay the workers, like the few farmers in his village around Akure. I was there 3 days ago. And he created a farm and he produced a lot of tomato. Now, 6 months later, he became a farmer. He was not a farmer. And he accepts crypto payments. We drilled the water, 3 days ago we drilled the water, 60 meters deep, to have the water for the farm. The tap is free, open to all the village. Everybody can use it to grow plants, to grow food, and to drink, and to clean water. An amazing stream, actually. It was a very, very big stream. And then when I did that, I was contacted by someone called Phil. Phil Talbot is the founder of Authentium, and he really liked the idea. We started talking, and he told me about his solution. And you know blockchain, 95% of blockchain projects are about speculation and money and scams. So you have to be very careful what you do when you buy a token. Most of them are scams. They just try to get the money from you. Let's say, I will just tell you how they could scam us. They create a token, they do a great marketing job. Everybody is excited, They make like 10 billion tokens. The people get excited, start to buy, and with 5 billion tokens, they sell in 1 day. So you lose everything. The value is worthless, and they run away with the money. It's called the rug pull. There are many of them. And most of them play like this, like XRP. I don't know if you heard of XRP. They've been running for 5 years, printing their token, the 100 billion token. And because people see the price is around $1, they say, oh, it's only one compared to Bitcoin. I will buy, it will go to 60,000. No, because they have 100 billion token. So every day they sell, and they go buy themselves a Ferrari. Every day they can buy a Ferrari. Because people don't realize that the supply is huge, like fiat money. Like fiat is money from the government, which is infinite, which is even worse. So when I created that, like when I talked to Phil, I'm interested in blockchain projects that are useful, not speculation. I hate speculation. I learned trading, I studied trading, I did trading, I know how to trade, but basically it's just a waste of time. Doesn't really help. It helped nobody. So when he told me about his use case, I said, yeah, and what is the use case? because what matters is how blockchain can change lives. And his idea, because he's from a farmer's family from Australia, and he told me, can we make a system to fight the misery of farmers around the world? That sounds like a very ambitious project, but it's possible. We can fight the misery of farmers around the world. How? I talked to farmers, that's why I came to Nigeria to meet Kingsley, but to meet, I'm meeting a lot of farmers every day. I will give you an example, a very concrete example. It's Alex, a farmer from Ondo State. He produces cassava. You know what cassava is. How much is 1 ton of cassava? Does someone know? 1 ton of cassava here. If I want to buy 1 ton of cassava in Nigeria, anyone has a farmer in his family that knows the price? No? It's $100, approximately $100. And when you see how it's produced, it's a lot of work. So the workforce of the Nigerian is very devaluated. It's not respected. Because you can buy a lot of work for $100. You wouldn't be able to buy this work for $100 in another country. And how much do I buy 1 ton of cassava in Paris? Any guess? $100. It was sold by the farmer. How much do I buy it? Just put a guess. Who can try to guess one? $500? More. 8,000? More. 10,000 euros. 10,000 euros the ton of cassava. Isn't it crazy? Like seriously. And this is not the worst case. This is just like a basic case. It's even worse, depending on the products. So what does it mean? It means that the workforce of this country is disrespected. That the workforce of the farmer is disrespected. So what can we do? We just need to talk. The consumer, me in Paris, and the farmer here in Nigeria. Because when I tell the farmer, I don't want 1 ton of cassava, of course. Let's say I want 10 kilos. If I want 10 kilos of cassava, if I can talk to the farmer, because I'm paying it 10 euros the kilo, I don't mind paying it 5 euros the kilo. But if it's 5 euros the kilo, how much is it for him? Someone is better than me in math, maybe. If I pay it 5 euros the kilo, how much is it for him? The ton. How much can he sell the ton? How much money does he make?
Over like 5K.
How much? 5K. Exactly. He goes from $100 to $5,000 with the same product. And what can he do with $5,000? He can pay his farmer more, a better salary. He can protect them. If someone gets injured, let's get him to the hospital. Today they just go home. There's nothing. They just die or they just get injured forever. No one cares for them. Even Nigerian, I don't know, where is the insurance? Nothing. Every day, like I've met with a farmer, he had like an accident with work. He had huge holes here. He didn't die, but he had a huge scar. No one could care for him, just his mom and his sisters and his brothers. There is no security, no social, nothing. But if he can sell his cassava for $5,000, we can protect the farmers. And the question is, how do we do that? You understand the benefits of that. So how can we do that? That's what's called supply chain. You know, blockchain for supply chain. We use blockchain, not crypto. It's not about speculation. It's about blockchain. Blockchain is the technology that is under the cryptos. For instance, Algorand is a blockchain. It's like a network. And on top, you can build 1,000 cryptos, million cryptos. For instance, my crypto, I built it on Algorand. But don't confuse blockchain and crypto. Crypto is just one coin.
Yeah.
Most of them are meaningless. Just people flipping coins trying to make money and scam people. But blockchain is huge. Blockchain, that's the real revolution. We can change the world with that. So what can I do with blockchain? Basically, everything that happens to the product is visible on the blockchain, on internet. You know when you use Uber or Bolt and you see the driver coming? We can do that with food. So when I buy now the food, just with one app across the world, when I buy the food, like let's say Stevie is the farmer, he puts up on the app his food, like $5,000 for the ton of cassava. I see it on my app. And I click. And I say, let's make a deal. Let's find a distributor, a logistic company. And then the logistic company wants to do like $2,000 to bring it, let's say. We all have a better deal.
Yeah.
I pay $8,000 or $7,000. He earns $5,000. The distributor earns $2,000. But it doesn't happen like this. We need to create that. Because today what happens? I am the distributor. Here is the consumer somewhere. I go to the producer and I scam him. I can tell you different scams that I've been hearing. That's what the Chinese do with some farmers. They come here, oh, I'm going to buy 1 ton of cassava. Here is your one, no. I'm going to buy your ton of cassava when it arrives in China. I'm here waiting. The ton is coming. It's not a ton, it's like 100 tons. It's coming. When it comes, what can I say? 30% of this ton is bad. There was a problem. So I will only pay you $70, 70% of the price because the quality is not there. I'm not satisfied. What can he do?
Nothing.
Nothing. And he tried. Alex, I'm telling you about a real case. This is a real story. He took the flight to China. He paid for lawyers. He's not a small farmer. He's a big farmer. But even if you're big, you're small in China. Do you really think China will let you win a law case? I don't know why he went there. It's hopeless from the beginning. So he went there, he lost the money from the lawyer for the plane, for the travel, and he went back and he's frustrated and he told me about the story. What we can do now with Authenticate, it's insane, like it's completely different. When I buy the product, the money is locked. What we call a smart contract, the developers know the smart contract, it's locked. The Chinese cannot access it. And we cannot unlock the money unless we have an agreement. So we don't need these lawyers, this plane, this bullshit. We just need to agree on what's the value, etc. Because he did his analysis of the product and he has the scientific proof that the product was good before he sent it. So now they can have an objective, rational debate, a real balance between the producer and the consumer. That's what we want. If we agree, the money pays everybody in one transaction. No one can get the money and run. The distributor, the producer, and the buyer all are settled down, and it's all finished. And as a consumer, if I want to eat cassava, when I buy for it, which is amazing, is that I know the farmer. I have his profile. I can rate him. And when I buy, I can follow the product online and see on the map coming to me. Because sometimes the product stays 2 years in a storage facility. And I know the product is fresh. That's a real use case that empowers the small farmers, because it can be a very small farmer that produces, like he has just a small land, he produces tomato, and he can be famous like Kingsley. We can make him famous. So his Kingsley's tomato have value. So when I eat, like, what did you have this morning? Does anyone know where the food came from? No, we don't know. The best we can know is, oh, it's blackberries from Colombia. Okay, Colombia is big. Which part of Colombia, and who did that, and how did they do that? Now we can know. That's another project we're running. In Colombia, we have a farm. We know everything about the farm and the farmer and the products. We have photos, videos, the precise location. And we are sending blackberries from Colombia to Melbourne, Australia. Fresh, not even frozen. They take the plane straight away. It's a super high level product. They used to sell it very cheap. Now they sell it even higher, and the buyer is happy because it's lower for him. So blockchain, to make it simple, is to remove the middleman, to make his life difficult. Because today the middleman is the evil man. He is starving the farmer, and he is poisoning the rest of the world. Like Americans or French or whatever, we eat poison. We don't know what we eat. It's some kind of anonymous food. We don't know what's inside. There are scandals every year, every week about what's in this milk, what's in this meat. Is it beef? No, it's horse. Like in France, we had a scandal. You eat like meat, you buy meat, and they discovered it was all horse. It wasn't beef, it was horse. Like, it's different because they didn't know what to do with the old horses. They just killed them and put them in the ravioli. You know ravioli? Yeah, like the meat with the pasta. They put horse in it and they say, yeah, it's cool, it's beef, it's pure beef. Who knows? We don't know what we're eating. But imagine a world where you know the farmer. You can watch the video of him planting the plant. And then when you buy, you see the product flying around in the world, coming to your supermarket or your plate, and you know exactly what you're eating. It's completely different. So it's a proof of story. Every food has a story, and we have the proof thanks to the blockchain, because at each step of the way, you have the transaction that shows exactly where the product is, what's the temperature, what's everything, the height, altitude, the pressure. We know everything about the product. So when you eat something, it's amazing. And what it does really for the farmers in what I'm doing today, like my job, what is my job? I bring hubs. We've been talking with Stefan to create one. Hubs where farmers, small or big, no matter. Like I work with Alex, and in Ondo State they have 6,000 farmers. We can work with one farmer like Kingsley. I'm going to help him. So every farmer, what can he do? He shows his product in a social app that we created. That, thank you, Emmanuel. Emmanuel here is doing an incredible job. Like the app is amazing. We have the gallery, thanks to the work like this. We have the price, the quantity. So me in Paris, I can see the tomatoes of Kingsley. And we can try to put this tomato in the next cargo for France. And I will eat this tomato, no other one. It's much better because I know the farmer. And actually he's my friend. And we can do that for all types of food. Fish, vegetables, fruits, meat. And we know exactly what we're eating, how it is done. It can work globally, it can work locally. You can buy using the system at a very short distance. If we do that, we remove the middleman. He cannot starve the farmer. He cannot poison the consumer. And he has to compete to get the deals, to get the distribution deals, the logistic deals. They have to compete now in the middle. Because now the supermarkets, they control the world. They control the food. Walmarts, like all the big supermarkets. They do everything. They come to Nigeria, they buy $100, and they take their cassava and they sell it to me $10,000, $12,000 actually, because it's euros. So we can fight this middleman, make the better life for the farmer, make the better quality product for the consumer. That wasn't possible before. It wasn't possible before because there were only like servers that were completely disconnected. Now we have one blockchain that does everything. And on Ethereum, it wasn't possible either, because one transaction of Ethereum is slow and costly. Only a blockchain of third generation blockchain like Algorand can do that, because the transaction is 4 seconds. It will be registered soon. And the cost is nothing. The cost is nothing, basically nothing. It's 1/10 of a cent, I think. Approximately 1/10 of a cent for the transaction. On Ethereum, it's $50, sometimes $1,000. Sorry, I speak too much. Like, questions, remarks, anything? Yeah, please. He was the airdrop.
That will welcome all the farmers in Nigeria. So if this news, if everybody seated here will reach out to 10, 15, 20, 30 farmers, 100, we have the capacity.
And I am available.
Yeah, we have the capacity to accommodate those guys.
Yeah, that's to go further on what you said. That's a very good point, because the virality is important, so we can reach the very small farmers that are not even connected to internet.
Yeah.
Because the system can work even without internet for the farmer.
Yeah.
Even a farmer without internet, we can onboard him with the app.
Yeah.
And we will run a app together.
Yeah.
You reach out. Please, Stefan, can you help? Like, Stevie, can you help this farmer? Yeah. Okay, let's go. And he can go to the hub, register his product, and then he goes to his farm.
Yeah.
No internet. He just bring the products. He's paid immediately by you, and you deal with the rest of the world.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Okay. So let me. Yes, you. Then you. Then you. Yes. Go ahead.
I have the whole day, so I don't mind staying here.
Sorry,
Just
how
with the
much
other
time do
speakers.
we have for this?
I don't know how much time do we have.
How much time do we have? Okay, that's fine. Okay, go ahead.
The lecture was very explanatory.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm more concerned with the technical aspect.
Okay.
So earlier you made mention of forming a token, you developed a token.
Yes.
So and you gave it out for rewards.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to see like how does that token get value?
Oh yeah, I can explain you the value. What is the value of money? Basically, you're asking. How do we
now,
create?
okay, let's say.
So what's the value of fame?
I love
Let's say
it.
I created fame token now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I built fame token on my system.
And you
so
give it out.
I built it on the blockchain, Algorand blockchain.
Yeah, it can be zero.
So
The value can be zero.
how does it get a value now?
That's the most amazing question, and it's something very interesting. I've been thinking about like for a long time. And before creating the token, I studied what is money, and I created the token to check if I was right, if my token will go to zero or if it has value. So what creates the value, in my opinion, maybe somebody else has a better opinion, is who has the money in his hands. If you give the money to anybody, worthless people, they are worthless people, there are some, the value will drop. If you give the money to people that are very interesting people, the value will rise. And when you think about it, that's fame is a small scale, only 10,000. But why the dollar is the dominant currency, and even though they print trillions, the value doesn't drop? Because the dollar constitutes the biggest community in the world, the most interesting community in the world, because we all trade in dollars. So what the value of a coin, of a token, is the people who owns the coin. Like the dollar value comes from the whole group of people that owns dollar. You know what I mean? I don't know if it answers.
Okay, I've just been thinking because I have
Yeah.
very good interest in the blockchain.
Yeah, I have all day again.
That is how it is, sir. How do people manage to pull through when they do rock pools? Because I've had scenarios of more than 4 or 5 rock pools. So how does it happen? Because people own this
You
token.
want to answer?
Then
Okay.
suddenly,
Let me even terminate the question with this answer. So you see, it depends on the community, those who hold the token. For instance, when Bitcoin came into existence, Bitcoin was worthless. Nobody In fact, at some point, somebody bought 2 pizza with 10,000 Bitcoin. So today, the guy's story is still, in fact, there is a Bitcoin pizza day, anniversary. It's celebrated every year. Now, that was when Bitcoin had no value. Would you buy 1 plate of rice today with 1 Bitcoin? Huh? That's because the community gave it value. So same thing applies to any token, right? Those who hold the token can give it value. Okay? It depends on, okay, so the value can either come from those who created the token and agreed with the community, or it can just come from the community if it's actually decentralized, right? Everybody can now contribute, and we can just say, okay, let's peg this thing at this price. So you exchange 2 of this token for $1 or 1,000 of it for $1 or whatever it is, right? Yeah.
To go further, to answer your question again further, the value of the money comes from the work of the people.
Yeah.
It can be intellectual work, it can be physical work. So, what are you ready to do for $1?
Yeah.
It's not the dollar that pays the work, it's the work that is represented in the dollar.
Yeah.
You know? So, when the dollar is very difficult to get, then the value goes up. When gold is very difficult to get because you have to dig, you have to do studies of the geology, etc. Because it's difficult to get, that gives value to gold. But if you can print a token of 1 trillion just by pushing 1 button, the value drops. But if to get this token you have to dig into a big mountain, you have to put investments, etc., the value of what you get might be high because it's difficult to get if the people recognize this difficulty. Because if the difficulty is not recognized, because if no one wants your gold, then the value drops. So there are 2 factors. There's the factor, the human factor, like the perception factor, how it is perceived. It's well perceived, like gold. And the physical and real factor, how do you get it? That's why we call them miners in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin are hard to get. I don't know, the energy expenditure, I think, it's trillion of kilowatt per hour to get 1 Bitcoin. So they have to sacrifice a lot of money, investments in computers, in miners to turn. And that gives the value. And the scarcity and the perception, because everyone who talks on CNN can make the price of Bitcoin go higher or drop. So there are 2 factors.
Next question, please. Yes.